Another new beginning for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Urban Meyer thing didn't work out. Maybe the Doug Peterson thing will. Trevor Lawrence entering his second season. They went out and got a bunch of new free agents like Christian Kirk. They also had the #1 overall pick once again, Trayvon Walker, on the defensive side of the ball. Jacksonville, 4 combined wins over the last 2 seasons, but their over-under win total this season bullish, 6.5. They are plus 400 to make the postseason, plus 750 to win the division. Going to get a full betting breakdown from our men on the ground in Jacksonville, Pete Prisco and Rick Spielman. And let's start, fellas, with Trevor Lawrence's passing yards. It's over 3,900, so it's 3,900.5. Pete, he threw for just over 3,600 last season, and he started all 17 games. What do you think?
I think he's going over that number. I think this is a situation for him where he's got better receivers. He's going to have a better offensive line in front of him. He's got better talent. He understands the NFL game a lot better than he did a year ago. I think he's going to go to 4,200 yards. I think this is going to be the big step up that we expect for Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going with the over.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you respectfully there,
Wow.
Mr. Prisco, Mr. Jacksonville. I'm going to think he's going to be under, and the reason I say that is because he has a lot more weapons than he had last year, and I agree with you, the offensive line's going to be better, but a lot of these guys are just good. They're not great receivers, and they don't have a Tyreek Hill that can take maybe a 10-yard reception and turn it into an 80-yard touchdown. I think he'll be a lot more productive, but I don't think he'll get 3,900 yards.
All right, Rick goes under, Pete goes over the passing yard total for Trevor Lawrence. He had 12 passing touchdowns last season. Pete, he would have to nearly double that this season to hit the over, which is set at 22.5.
I think he's easily going to get to this number. I don't think there's any question about that. When you look at what a good quarterback is throwing in the NFL these days, you're about 27, 28, and the really good ones get into the 30s. I think he's going to be special as a player. I think he's going to show that this season. I think he's going to, and I predicted this already, I said he's going to throw 32 touchdown passes this season and have one of those years where everybody in the league goes, you know what, this is why they drafted him. So I'm going over, and easily over that number.
I will agree with you right there, and I think, when you looked at Carson Wentz in his second year with Doug Peterson, and I understand this is Trevor's first year with Doug Peterson, but he went from touchdowns in the teens his rookie year to 33 touchdowns in his second year. And I think with this offense and this West Coast system and getting the ball out quickly and not putting as much pressure on Trevor to make all the reads, get the ball and let the playmakers make plays, that he will definitely pass 22 touchdowns this year.
Trevor came in with a lot more fanfare last year than Trayvon comes in with this year. Second #1 overall pick in a row. It's Trayvon Walker. His sack total, Pete, set at 5.5. A little bit more juice to the under on this.
Yeah, I'm going to go over on this one. And I know a lot of skeptics out there will say, well, he wasn't that productive in college in terms of getting the quarterback on the ground. But I think the way they're going to play defense, they're going to attack a lot. He's got a good player opposite him in Josh Allen, a guy who can get up the field and help teams force their protection that way. And I think he's going to get some one-on-one situations. So I'm going over. I don't think he's going to get way over. He's not going to get double digits, but he's going to go over that number.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. And we went through a similar situation in Minnesota when we were brought in Daniil Hunter, who wasn't very productive as a pass rusher coming out of LSU, and you put him opposite of Everson Griffin, and once those two got rolling, teams got a scheme for either one or the other. They can't block both all the time, and if they try to put a running back out there on one of those guys, that's going to be a mismatch.
Hunter, 6 sacks in his rookie season with the Vikings. They went for 12.5 in year 2. Here are the odds to win Defensive Rookie of the Year from Caesars Sportsbook. Walker with the third shortest odds. Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau have shorter odds than Walker. Pete, look, not a ton of expectations for this guy because he didn't produce as much as the other guys in college. What do you think of his Defensive Rookie of the Year numbers?
I don't think he's going to get enough sacks to be in the mix. I think this is one of those awards that goes to guys who either get interceptions or sacks. And I think Hutchinson and Thibodeau are both better pure pass rushers than Trayvon Walker is. And for that reason, I think they'll have more sacks as rookies. So I would not splash with that one. I don't think he's going to get those type of numbers. And this is the kind of player, Rick, where people say, oh, well, look, he's not getting the sack numbers, but he's still holding the point of attack. He's still influencing the quarterback. I just don't think he's going to get giant sack numbers.
And getting a lot of tackles versus the run is not going to get you a defensive rookie of the year. And I agree with you 100%. I think when everybody came out, they knew Hutchinson was probably more ready for the pro game and is probably going to be more productive. Everybody's betting down here in Jacksonville with the people that I talk to that Trayvon Walker has such a high ceiling and a higher ceiling than Hutchinson, but I don't think you'll see it as a rookie.
There are your player props. Let's talk about the team specifically, and the win total is set at 6.5. Pete, you got to go back to, I think you were living there at the time when they won more than 6 games. That was 2017 when they went to the AFC title game. That was 5 years ago, long time. What do you think about the win total? Of course, there's one more game now than there was back then.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get to that win total. I don't think they're going to get much past it. I think 7-8 is a good year for this team, but they're going to be much better. They're an improved team. It starts with getting rid of, the head coach. He was a disaster last year, Urban Meyer. They have a real head coach now. They're excited about their staff. I think they have a good offensive system in place, and the defense is going to be pretty good. I think this is going to be a team that wins 7-8 games, and the division isn't very good, so I'm going over.
Yeah, and I'm going to say 500 as well. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a lot better player than he was last year, and I think this coaching staff will make a difference. And what we always talked about is every team should have enough talent to be 500, and then the coaching, the injuries, and everything else either put you above it or below it. So I think that they have enough talent here to definitely win 500.
Well, if you can get around 500, you're talking 8-9 wins, and you're talking potentially being in the running for a playoff spot. They're 4-1 to make the playoffs. Are you bullish enough to grab that value?
Well, Rick has them winning 8.5 games for 500. I don't know. That'd be something new. That'd be a new thing. If they would.
Yeah, they're playing a half a game.
Okay.
It's the Hall of Fame game's a half a game.
500, 8.5. Are they going to get to the playoffs? No, they're not getting to the playoffs. So I just think when you look at the division, isn't that tough, but the AFC as a whole is. And so the division winner will get to the playoffs in the AFC South. Nobody else is, so I say no.
No, and I'm going to say they're going to have one tie to get to 500 this year. But I agree with you. That just the conference in the AFC is just totally loaded, and the wild card team will not come out of this division. So the only chance that they have to get into the playoffs is if they win this division, and I don't think they're ready to do that yet.
8-1. That is right at 500, and we've seen it happen before. Let's talk week 1 now. We're not going to pick every game. We're just going to pick week 1 here. They're starting in D.C. against the Commanders, and the Jaguars are getting 4 points.
I'm going to take the 4. I think that, like I said, I think their defense is going to be pretty good. They know Carson Wentz. Doug Peterson knows all about Carson Wentz, the quarterback of Washington. He worked with him and developed him. So I think they're going to be able to limit what Washington does. I don't think Jacksonville's going to go up there and light the scoreboard up, but I will take the 4 points in that game.
I don't even need the 4 points. I think Jacksonville is going to go up there and beat Washington in a home opener for Doug Peterson. One, he is 6-4 every time he's played the Commanders when he was a head coach at Philadelphia. They know Carson Wentz. They know what he can do good. They know what he does not do very well. And I think with Doug Peterson's knowledge and what he's going to give Mike Caldwell in the defense on how to handle Carson Wentz, I think they'll go up there, and that'll be one of the big upsets.
Ron Rivera wants a little chat with you.
Pete, I think Doug Peterson might want to chat with you. You're wearing a Jacksonville Jaguars polo. You got the teal on, and you're not even picking them to win like Rick is?
It's green. It is green. We're so cheery to be out of practice. It's green and red. We're in the holiday spirit. We're cheery. We're happy.
Those are not
We're back
Christmas
on the football
colors.
field.
Yeah, but the most obnoxious thing I seen driving into Jacksonville was a billboard with Pete Prisco's picture on it with this teal ugly shirt he has on today.
You know, they once had a billboard of me out here, by the way. They did.
Pete Prisco back where he was once the mayor of Jacksonville, returning this season. He says they've got a real coach now, Doug Peterson, instead of Urban Meyer. Here are the picks from the guys. There's agreement on several of them. They're both going over Trevor Lawrence passing touchdowns, over Trayvon Walker sacks, no Walker defensive rookie of the year at plus 500, over the 6.5 wins, but they won't make the playoffs, and both like Jacksonville in that Week 1 game against the Commanders. Rick even likes them to win outright. Pick 6 podcast, latest episode with Will Brinson and Ryan Wilson. They've got a hot seat preview. Which head coaching jobs will be available after this season? They're already looking to fire some guys. And also, who's the next big-name quarterback who's going to be traded? Check it out, the latest Pick 6 pod.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.